It's the Forza Naples World Cup show. My name's Ian, joined as always by Paul. Welcome back, or if you're just finding us, welcome. We normally talk all things FC Naples, but we're doing a couple bonus episodes during the World Cup to talk about the World Cup because we both love talking soccer so much. Paul, the World Cup is officially underway now. We saw Mexico beat up on South Africa 2-0. Lots of red cards flying. We saw our first hydration breaks. Coverage is beginning. What do you think of the World Cup so far? About a day and a half in, because as we're recording this, it's 1-1 between South Korea and Czechia.
Yeah, so hoping we'll see you'll get a live reaction to a winner here in this Czechia South Korea game. If you remember, I believe I took Korea to cover Czechia in the group. I think you had it the other way. But you know, got to watch the first game of the day in the office. Was watching it on Peacock, so the Spanish version. So no commercial during the hydration break first half of this game, and I saw some stuff online about the commercials, and and sure enough, Fox has them cutting away to commercials. I just think it's a ridiculous thing. And I am somebody that's very pro America. I'm very pro the rest of the world caters to us. We use yards, you use meters, and you guys are all wrong. I do think, and as I'm saying this, South Korea takes a 2-1 lead. Big goal for Korea here, but I think in this instance, I think what people love and what American fans that love soccer love is the rhythm of it. You show up, you're going to be there for 2 hours, and you go home. You got a 15-minute break halfway through called halftime, and then you move on. You're not cutting to commercial. There's none of that, and I hate it. I hate if you want to do a picture in picture, I can be on board with that. We see that a lot these days, where they keep the game on. As long as it's not live play, like take the golf model. They do it all the time while the golf game's still going on. You could flash an ad and make millions and millions of dollars. Just do that. Instead, they're taking away, and I think I read that you missed some game action. That's, if you're going to be mad, don't be mad because you missed the throw in, but understand the sentiment from specifically soccer purists and why they don't like it.
Yeah, we called this out on our regular show a couple weeks ago, saying they're going to have these hydration breaks as an excuse for them to put more ads down our throats, because that's all it's become now. And like you said, like maybe it's just because I've been conditioned now. They're going to do this World Cup, do what NBC does with the golf and CBS does with the golf. Like we're playing through. You get the audio from the ads, you're seeing the ad, but you still see what's going on. I just think if we missed, like, even I know it's boring and most of the time it's just guys drinking water, but we could have missed the Pochettino laptop out moment had we cut away to commercials. So show me something. Just show me parts of the game. That way, if you do run a commercial long, yeah, maybe it's 3-4 seconds like it was in today's game for the second half of the Mexico game, but you're not going to miss a second of the action because the sickos like us want to see every second of every game while the clock is running, because the clock's still running too while this is happening. Fox, you got to get it together. Fox's coverage in general, I've got opinions on it. Maybe we'll save those for a later episode, but to have, two legends of the game with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thierry Henry, and then you got Alexi Lalas up there. I know he's become kind of the voice of U.S. soccer, but all I could think of, and I posted this on our Twitter account, I think, was the dragon meme where it's like two scary looking dragons and then the goofy looking dragon. And Lawless just plays into it now, in my opinion. So that's another thing. But Fox, with the loan of the century, picking up Rebecca Lowe for their coverage, who normally covers the Premier League, that was a big get for them. Gonna be watching a lot more pre and post game show with her there. She just does a great job as a studio analyst. Fun fact, she held my son when he was less than a year old. I think he was like 6 months old. We took him to a fan fest for the Premier League. So love Rebecca. Fox. Landon Donovan too on the call. Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey. Now you got me going. We're talking about Fox's broadcast. Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey. neither of them really have any personality. It's just like they're just there, and I don't really like that. Like Stu Holden, I like him much more because he has some sort of personality there as a play-by-play guy or as a color guy. He's grown on me a lot more, but also Landon Donovan seemingly has more hair now than he did in 2010 when he was scoring goals in the World Cup. Not sure how that's possible as someone who does have the thinning, the receding hairline. Um, just embrace it, man. Come on, just embrace it. Okay.
Yeah, and you talk about that in Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, U.S. legends, but give me a guy like Micah Richards, who maybe not the greatest, maybe not the greatest player, or from a soccer player standpoint, didn't leave a lasting impact. But as a commentator, he's one of the best people to listen to and talk. He just has so much fun with it, has such a big personality. I would almost venture to say the Pat McAfee of soccer, and just listening to guys, and I feel like a lot of the old heads on USA Soccer want the best for USA Soccer, but also don't kind of seems at times they don't support the current state. And everybody's entitled to their opinion, but this is the time to put aside the differences and root on the squad. So
Yeah, even today when we saw the red card against Mexico, like Landon Donovan, yeah, he could be good, but he just doesn't share more information. And that's maybe I'm alone with that, but like Taylor Twellman, he'll I'm not a big Taylor Twellman fan either, but he'll at least give you his opinion in the broadcast. Landon Donovan, it's like there's a red card against Mexico. He thought it was harsh, and he said, "That's a harsh red card." That was it. That was the end of the analysis. Give me more. Why was it a harsh red card? Like, come on. Oh,
mhm.
that was frustrating.
Speaking of
Anyway,
red cards, we're on pace, historic pace right now
historic pace
for
with that three. I think it was like 300 something red cards total for the tournament. With the three in that game.
plus the fourth, right? Didn't the coach or somebody on the bench get a red card? I saw four officially were given. I think three to players, one to either a coach or somebody on the sideline. But that's more than all of 22 combined. Do you think? And two of them were dogs, so red cards. Do you think that's going to be a trend that we see in this tournament?
Yes and no. I think that the first game was not a great game, if we're being honest, right? Mexico was clearly better than South Africa. South Africa struggled to show anything. Um, I don't think that's going to be a real trend. I do think we might see more red cards than we've seen in the past. I think 2022 is also historically low for red cards. So I think we would be wrong to expect less red cards than that. But yeah, I think we will see more than 2022, but it's not going to be an extravagant number. The one thing, too, as we just complain about the World Cup so far, the making these referees who don't have English as their first language then have to go and explain their decision making in English. Surely, like AI and all this, and you could also hire. He was Brazilian, I think that referee. Have some Portuguese translator that then can translate it for him. Don't make him try to explain why he's giving a red card in English to a stadium full of 80,000 people. Come on, man. Like, we see the NBA guys, they already have a hard enough time explaining calls, and
Hmm.
English is their first language. And they've been
Hmm.
trained on, like, I felt bad for him in that moment. Like, I cannot imagine trying to go explain a call in Portuguese to someone in front of 80,000 people.
In Brazil. Speaking of, so you mentioned the Mexico South Africa game. Lopside, agree. I'm looking at some of these matchups, and with the expanded field and the lack of urgency, and the fact that more than half of the third place teams will move on, 75% will move on. I think we're going to see a lot of lopsided group stage games. Uh, Now, you're going to get the games like this Czechia Korea game that's been awesome through and through. We're approaching the 90th minute to see if we're going to see a equalizer or what. But I think, is that something that you're concerned about, when Germany plays Curacao? Like, are you concerned about some of these matchups or are you kind of looking forward to watching Germany put 6 or 7 goals up against a small country?
First of all, I've got my Curacao jersey on today.
I set it up that way.
I'm I think Curacao can pull off the upset. Come on, Blue Wave. I think this tournament with the expanded field is going to be a lot more like the first and second rounds of NCAA March Madness,
Hmm.
where you're gonna have your 1 versus 16 seed, your Germany versus Curacao, and 99 times out of 100, Germany's gonna beat them and cover, and
Hmm.
they'll run away with it, right? But there's that one time, that one chance, and all it's going to take is one. Like if Curacao can get the draw and draw Germany 1-1, to me expanded field worth it. Even some of the other games, like I think we will get the occasional upset. Like maybe we'll get Haiti or Scotland or one of those teams knocking off a big boy. And if that happens, then I think okay, that's fun, right? That'll make it worth it. We'll remember that going forward.
Hmm.
And then once we get to that round of 16, like with the expanded field, two more teams going through, we're gonna have 32 teams in the first knockout stage. I think that's when we'll kind of start to see get more serious, and hopefully we'll kind of narrow it down to more the true four best teams of this tournament. But I think that's what I'm kind of looking at it through the lens of.
Hmm.
Of we'll have a couple, hopefully, surprises in that first round in the group stage, but not many.
Yeah, and anybody that follows March Madness, you love a Cinderella. You know, love the Cinderella until about the Sweet 16 Elite Eight. That's when you're kind of ready for the Cinderellas to go home. And now I want the best eight, the best four, the best two. I think it is going to be interesting. So you got a team like Curacao, 2 draws might be enough to get you through. Assuming you come in third. In your group, there's going to be at least 3 teams that lose all 4 games. So, even if you go so far as to say two teams are going to lose all 4 games, that means there's going to be 2 teams that have points that go home instead of in the past half the field goes home. And it gives you more games. We're going to have 4 games just about every day moving forward, which is going to be awesome. So I am curious. In that first, that round of 32, you do get it set up like March Madness, where you're going to have some small teams playing against some big boys, and a Haiti and Scotland. One of those teams is moving on, most likely. One of those 2 teams is going to move on. So that Haiti Scotland game on Saturday should be awesome, in a game that is not the most talented teams, but it's going to mean so much more because whoever wins that first one is sitting on 3 points and really only needs one more to, the math will say one more point, you're going through. So it'll be fun. What is your take on these game times? I'm looking tomorrow's like a pretty standard. I think, talking before, you don't like the split. I think today's an exception. Tomorrow, same situation. But, Saturday, and this is the question I'm going to ask. So Saturday is 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, midnight Eastern. And then Sunday is 10, 1, I'm sorry, 1, 4, 7, and 10. Do you have a preference on either time slot? What are your thoughts on how those games are being broken down?
Yeah, I the midnight game's going to be tough. Midnight Eastern's going to be tough. Not going to lie.
Hmm.
Australia, Turkey. I'm not sure if I'll make it to Saturday night. So for that, I think I prefer the one for 7:10 Eastern. Today and
Hmm.
tomorrow, I don't like because it's like 3 o'clock. There was all this excitement, and then I think Fox
It
cut to
lingered.
Judge Judy, and then I'm like, what am I gonna
That's
watch
fitted.
until this game
That's
kicks
fitted.
off at 10?
That's what's more American than that.
Right.
Cutting from
It's
the World Cup to
or
Judge Judy.
no notes there, right? But it will be nice once we do have these 3 and 4 game days. But also, it's just fun to go 3-6-9 to quote I think that's the Yin Yang Twin song, right? From Get Low. Um, that's,
Deep
I'll
into
leave it
the
with that.
cultural reference.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would be more on board with a 2.5 hour split, right? It's until the knockout stages, then you got to space it out more because of the extra time penalty kick. But give me a 2.5 hour split. Let's make this a 10 hour day. Let's not draw this out too much longer. I don't need pundits talking for an hour between games, especially it's all on one network. Um, and right, I have no sympathy for the Europeans and you know,
The
the people
timing.
overseas. Yeah. You know how many times I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch Forest lose 3-0? Several. It happens. If you want to be a fan, you're not going to raise sympathy. You get to start your Saturday morning. I guess they'll get to start their Sunday morning early and then take a little power nap. My guess is the English and Germans will be drinking their way between the last game Saturday, Australia, Turkey, until Germany and Curacao. So that's probably Australia, Turkey, 6 a.m. German time. Um, so they'll probably just stay drinking until they get to face Curacao. But I think 2.5 hour splits would be better. And I think when you're starting to screw over the host country, that's kind of where, in terms of like a midnight start, and I know we see this in, certain sports, Olympics, whatnot, they didn't change the Olympic gold medal game for the US, for that time, or Canada. Everybody was up early for that one. And again, I'm West Coast. So these time slots are great for me because I finally get late night sports. But being on the East Coast, having to stay up till 2 in the morning to watch a tournament in your country seems a little absurd, especially when you could start it at 9 o'clock Pacific time, noon Eastern, and still, or even 1 o'clock Eastern, like they are on Sunday. I do believe that Qatar Switzerland game is on the West Coast, so that would be a really early kickoff for. I think that would be a really early kickoff for them, 9 a.m. if it was.
Yeah, that would be a little. Yeah, the geography in the U.S. It's reminding us now it's so big,
Mhm.
right? That like I'm looking at this. Oh my gosh! And I mean, this goes to show you how big the Forza Naples podcast is too. That I'm looking at this time slot of Australia, Turkey. Like, how am I gonna stay up till midnight to watch this? And you're looking at it like, awesome. This kicks off at 8 p.m.
Mhm.
local time for me.
Yep.
That's I think says everything you need to know right there. But yeah, it's those midnight games are going to be tough, and the 10 o'clock games, I can make it through. I also have a 3 month old here who has been sleeping a lot, but you never know with her. So
And that's normal American sports. You got the West Coast games kick off at or start at 10. Like that's a normal to me. East Coasters, they're used to that. But now saying it's midnight, and then you even talk about the players having to kick off at 9 o'clock local, that's also tough. You're not getting the best of the best, and it makes me think of when they do like UFC fights over in the Middle East, and they're fighting at 7, 8 in the morning, and it's like that's such an
yeah,
odd time, but it's 10 o'clock Eastern, and that's what they're catering to. So,
yeah. So we've got tomorrow USA Paraguay and Canada Bosnia. We're going to talk more, I think, about the U.S. just because we're
mhm.
both big U.S. fans. U.S. probably my second favorite team behind Curacao. Just kidding. I think I would flip those around. But what are your thoughts as the U.S. get ready to head in and kick off their World Cup here against Paraguay?
It's a statement game. Paraguay is a good enough team to give us trouble, but they're also weak enough where it should be an opportunity for the U.S. to play well. They'll win. If they don't play well, anything could happen. But I think it's a statement game for the host country, for a lot of fans who I think have mixed opinions. I think depending on who you ask determines how far they think the U.S. will advance. I am on the page of if we don't get to the round of 16, it would be an unsuccessful tournament for us. I think that is a realistic expectation, regardless of if we come one or two. If somehow we fall to three, it becomes a little tougher, but you have to get to the round of 16 if you're the host nation. In as good as we are advertising that we can be, but at some point you have to prove it. We have all these guys. We want to have some respect. And I think that there's a chip. Every time one of these guys on our team is playing in Europe, there's a chip on their shoulder to prove that U.S. soccer players can compete with some of these bigger countries in the soccer world. So this game should be a victory for us. but I think it will set the tone for how the rest of the tournament will go. I do think we have a tough group. I think Paraguay and Australia are two of the weaker, quote unquote, lesser sides in group stages. We didn't get gifted, these really small countries like Haiti or um, Cape Verde or Curacao. We got Australia, who's okay. Again, beatable teams. So I think that's how I'm looking at it. It's a statement for anybody that's watching this team, doesn't know much about soccer. If you go out and you lose, then you're going to turn people away. People aren't going to be excited. And if you draw, you're going to have people in the US that say, this is why I don't watch soccer. So you have to win this game to get that excitement roaring through, from coast to coast.
I'm with you there. I for expectations, that was going to be my next question for you: is what is a successful World Cup for the U.S.? And I think it is round of 16. If
Hmm.
we could win a round of 16 game, I'd say that's a roaring success. Make
Hmm.
it to the quarterfinals. Getting to the round of 16, I think is good, right? But it doesn't move us forward because that's where we made it last year. Granted, smaller
Yep.
tournament. We
Hmm.
got blown out by the Netherlands 3-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like you said, we're expected to beat all three of these teams.
Hmm.
Expected to beat Paraguay. I don't remember where Turkey shows up in the world rankings, whether or not they're ahead of us. But right now, like in the FIFA power rankings, if you will, the U.S. is 17th. So these are all teams we're expected and should be beating if you played the game on paper. Game's not played on paper,
Hmm.
so we have to go out there and you've got to prove yourself now. We've got a good team. We think we've improved over years past. Let's go out. Let's win the group. If we don't win the group, or if we don't even make it out of the group, then I think we have to burn the whole thing down and start from scratch. That's just awful. I think we've got to win, improve from last year where we won one game. We won 1-1 I think last year. Improve on that, and go out there and win two games. Like let's win two, draw one, we move on, and we've got it all to play for in the knockout
Hmm.
stages. But yeah, we've gotta show up, I think, and you said it right in the open. If we play well, then we should win.
Hmm.
If we don't play well, I'm a little worried.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think regardless of how we get out of the group, um, I agree with you. We're blowing it up if we can't get out of the group. I would almost go so far to say the same thing if we come in third and lose in the first round. Um, so I think again, everybody talked about this was the summer of soccer. This was the time for the US to fall in love with the game. I think right now we're already behind the eight ball because everybody hates how the tournament the locations not great, the times not great, the water breaks, the commercials, like there's a lot of stuff already not good that we got to overcome in a US deep run. you know Wait until we start getting to that point where fans have bought in and we can get those crowds that are mostly American. I think that's a thing we haven't seen historically is home games don't feel like home games because whoever we're playing has more fans in this country than we do. So growing the game, I think, is the number one goal. The only way to do that is to win. So and I already talked to somebody today. And, this goes back to the people listening to this podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a sicko soccer fan like we are, and you need to be encouraging people, hosting watch parties, um, going out and spreading the fact that the U.S. has a game. Or spreading when there should be an awesome game. We got a couple this weekend. Spreading like in growing the game that way, and then it's on the players to hook them in. Think about how many new hockey fans we got this year from that gold medal game. Didn't matter how
Right,
great the US
right.
played the entire tournament. If they lose to Canada, you don't have new hockey fans. You only have new hockey fans because we won. And at this point in the game, I'm on board if that's how we have to get soccer fans in here. It's by having a good team.
I think we also need like a couple of romance shows on HBO and Amazon Prime
Hmm.
related to soccer. Um, maybe bring
Might
back.
help.
Maybe we can do another version of like She's the Man.
Yep.
Trying to think of like soccer romance movies now. Bend it. Is
That's
there
the
a
only one I
romance in
got.
Bend It Like Beckham? I don't. I don't think so.
I think that was a children's movie, so I'm gonna
It
guess
was. Yeah,
no.
no. Yeah, some
Bring
more.
back Air Bud World Cup. I'm gonna watch that this weekend. I'm going Air Bud World Cup. What was that? The 2009, the '99 Olympic women's team making a feature, and I think I forget. I don't even remember. Does Air Bud score the penalty or does he save the penalty? I don't remember. I'm gonna find out this weekend.
That's a good one. Um, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I distracted us there with some soccer movies, and yes. Um, you want to go rapid fire down the fixtures this weekend, and or I guess before we do that, what game outside of the U.S. Paraguay, what game this weekend has you most excited, and what game are you probably gonna zone out for and skip?
Yeah, obviously, I'm excited to see Canada. I think they're going to be a good team, so I think that's going to be a good double feature tomorrow. But Saturday's an interesting slate because I think that Brazil Morocco game is going to be really good. If I could only watch one game on Saturday, it's Brazil Morocco. But that Haiti Scotland game should be a lot of fun as well. If I had to skip one, I'm skipping the early one. I'm skipping Qatar, Switzerland, and I have a golf tee time, so I will be skipping that one. Um, I may or may not have looked at the World Cup schedule before I booked that tee time and chose wisely. Um, then Sunday, I think the Ivory Coast Ecuador game, you know, I think what's fun about Haiti, Scotland, Ecuador, Ivory Coast is both of those teams or all both those games have third place implications. And if we can
Mm-hmm.
see a victory there, that gives that team an opportunity to realistically think they can advance. We talked about it earlier. If you win your first game, you really only need 1 point and you're guaranteed, but even just one win might be enough to get you to the knockout stage. And I think both of those teams have that opportunity. I am excited for Sweden Tunisia because I don't know where Tunisia is, and it'll be on late Sunday. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm going. I would say skip Germany Curacao, but you're a Curacao supporter. I like the
Yeah,
German team. I'll be watching that game. No,
yeah.
no, nothing better than drinking some German beer at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you mentioned a couple games in there, like Haiti, Scotland. A lot of these, I think, are kind of like, to go back to March Madness, like your 8-9 matchups where it's
Hmm.
two pretty evenly matched teams. And yeah, they're probably going to be duking it. Like, all these points are now so much more important when it comes to that third place battle. Um, Brazil Morocco, I think, is the standout game on Saturday, just because I don't think I'm going to stay up to finish Australia Turkey, although it is after midnight now on the East Coast as we record this. Um, I think Sunday, yeah, Germany. As much as I hate to see it, my blue wave. I think Germany Carousel is the one to skip there, or Sweden Tunisia, like you said. Ivory Coast Ecuador is the big game for me. Two teams that I think are really happy to be here, but two teams I think could put on a little run into this World Cup and make it far. So that's kind of my weekend outlook. Um, I'll be on a plane on Sunday, so hopefully Wi-Fi is good enough I can stream these games on Fox and Fox Sports One, or watch them in Spanish on Peacock.
Yeah, I did the Spanish telecast today at work because I couldn't listen to it anyway. So I was like, you know what? Peacock streams better at the office. I'll watch it there. The Telemundo broadcast was just fine.
Plus, I think we both signed up for the annual plan of Peacock, so it's already
Hmm.
paid for. So
Yeah,
that's a
it's
sunk
free.
cost. I'm not subscribing to Fox for another two
No,
hundred dollars a year, $20 a month to stream World
nope,
Cup games. I'd rather
no.
be at home or at a bar or at a watch party somewhere for the games,
Hmm.
or I'll throw them on the phone in Spanish. You want to go rapid fire now down the rest of the weekend slate, and just make bold predictions?
Let's do it.
All right, Canada, Bosnia.
3-1 Canada.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Bosnia. Canada's never won a game in the World Cup. Uh, USA, Paraguay.
I'm gonna go 2-0 US. I think they got to prove the back line solid after that Germany performance. So give me USA 2-0.
I'm gonna go 2-1 USA. Uh, I'm with you, and they've got to prove the back line. I don't think they're all there yet, so I think Paraguay gets a goal. Moving on to Saturday now, Qatar, Switzerland.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
Give me a
Draw.
2-2. Brazil, Morocco.
Man, game of the weekend. 2-1 Brazil.
I'm gonna go 3-0 Brazil. I think Brazil's. I have them losing in the knockout stages, but I think they're gonna show up for this game. Haiti, Scotland.
This game's going to be 0-0 or 3-3. Give me 3-3.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Scotland just because they're making Haiti change their jerseys. Or actually,
Forgot about
oh
that.
yeah, they're making Haiti change their
Oh,
jerseys. So I think that's gonna affect them. So I think Scotland's gonna get the win, or Haiti will win 3-1 because they'll be so upset about having to change out their
the
jerseys.
jersey. Yeah.
Last game for Saturday/Sunday morning: Australia, Turkey. Excuse me.
Tough one. I'm going to go 2-0 Turkey.
I'll go
Will you
1-1.
have will you have a turkey sandwich while you're watching that game just to support the team?
Ooh. Or do you go to Outback Steakhouse?
Steakhouse. Oh, authentic Australian cuisine. How many Europeans do you think are discovering Outback Steakhouse for the first time?
That has, before we move on to Sunday's rapid fire games, that has been one of the best things about the internet this week has been Europeans and South Americans and everyone discovering the oddities of the U.S. Like they can make fun of our fields and stadiums all they want, but seeing, I think his name's Freddie, the
Hmm.
German, go to Bucky's and Waffle House at 1 a.m. and all these things that we take for granted here in the U.S. And really appreciating them. Like seeing the entire Argentinian team be amazed at an eagle flying above the stadium at Auburn and they're friendly. That's been top notch.
Yeah, I had somebody today say Waffle House is not that good. I said, "Well, when did you go?" She said 10 o'clock for or 9 o'clock for breakfast. I said, "That's not when you can go to
No.
Waffle House. That is not when you go to Waffle House. That is not when their food is good." Shout out to all the Waffle Houses that determine how bad a hurricane really is.
Yes. Taco Bell was the other one. Like seeing Europeans discover Taco Bell. Um, it's amazing. There's no place like it here in the U.S. Right. Um, Moving on to Sunday, then Germany, Curacao.
I think Germany beat Brazil 6-0 in a World Cup final not too long ago. Does that scoreline ring a bell?
Yeah, I think it
Six
was a
nothing.
semifinal. It was like 6-0 or 7-1 or that was in
I
Brazil too.
I think Curaçao's a little bit better than that Brazil team. Give me Germany 5-0.
I'm gonna go 3-0 Germany. Sorry, Blue Wave. I still support you deep down, but yeah, Germany's really good. Uh, Netherlands and Japan.
It's another one. I'm gonna go 2-0 Netherlands.
Yeah, I was gonna go 3-1 Netherlands on that one. Ivory Coast, Ecuador.
This game screams 0-0 draw.
Oh, see, I read it the other way. I thought it was gonna be three
Mm,
three. I think there's goals
mm.
in this one. Goals to be had in this one. So I'm gonna go 3-3. And then last game of the weekend, Sweden and Tunisia.
Uh, 1-0 Sweden. Does that sound about right?
I'll back you on that. I'll go 1-1.
That's not backing me. You I
Well,
said
I'll
one
back you on
nil.
it being low scoring. I think it could be 1-0, but for the point of contact, I'll go 1-1. I think Tunisia scores.
Oh,
And then your boys kick off on Monday in Cape Verde.
Cape Verde, my team. That's my second team. We'll see. Believe they got Spain. Spain on
They
Monday. Is
do.
that correct? Oh man,
Both of our small island nations have tough opponents to open up their World
tough.
Cups.
I'll throw this one out there. Who has a better chance of picking up a point, Curacao or Cape Verde?
I think I would go Cape Verde. I don't know though. Curacao, they put a run together in the Gold Cup. I'm gonna back my Blue Wave. Let's go Curacao.
And the final question I'll ask: 1 o'clock Sunday, you drinking a German beer or a fruity drink that has blue Curacao in it?
Oh, that's tough. Probably a German beer,
Mm,
but maybe. See, this
it's your
is
boys. There's only
This is
3
tough.
days. It's socially acceptable this tournament for you to have that fruity drink with blue curacao in it.
I think I'd go fruity drink and then after halftime transition to the good German beer. Um, Also, Curacao, if you want a second team to support in this tournament, because it is with all these teams, it's hard just to root for one, right? I would highly recommend Curacao. Just do me a favor. We won't say it on the air, but look up the name of their head coach, their manager, and tell me you're not going to root for that. Yes. So and enjoy that. You're welcome for that. That's Do it while you're safe from driving, please. He's Dutch. Paul, anything else you want to add about the World Cup or any other grievances you have before we get out of here?
We're gonna end on a high note. Super excited. Been waiting 4 years. Last tournament, I was overseas, not able to watch many of the games. I think I caught the game against Iran. I was able to pull it up on a very small corner on the Fox website and was able to stream it. I saw it on a little 2x2 screen. So very excited to cheer on the boys here. Got the jersey ready to go and looking forward to an awesome, awesome game against Paraguay.
With you on that one. Just excited for the tournament knockout format. Paul is now cracking up laughing. I think he just looked up the Carousel head coach name. But really excited for this summer of soccer and everything in the World Cup. Be sure to follow us if you like this stuff. We'll keep posting these episodes. The Forza Naples World Cup show will abbreviate them there in your podcast feed. But yeah, be sure to follow us on social media at Forza Naples Pod on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be back with some more regular FC Naples coverage here soon, as well as these special World Cup episodes. But until next time, Forza Naples, and we'll support the U.S., the U.S., the U.S., because that's the way we like it.